The war had ended 3 cycles ago, but Zerthala still felt its echoes in her bones. She stood at the edge of the crimson plateau, her scales shimmering like molten copper in the dying light of twin suns. The dragon woman's wings were folded tight against her back, a posture of perpetual mourning she had adopted since that terrible day. Coraline was gone. Her daughter, half-dragon, half-human, had fallen during the siege of Outpost 7. The official report had been brief. Clinical hybrid soldier, Coraline's presumed Kia, body unrecoverable due to enemy bombardment. Zerthala's claws dug into the stone beneath her feet. She had searched for months, scouring the wreckage of that cursed battlefield, but found nothing. Eventually, even she had been forced to accept the cruel truth. The sound of footsteps made her turn. A human was approaching a male, walking with a pronounced limp. He wore the tattered remnants of a military jacket, patches marking him as part of the 3rd Terran Infantry Division. His face was weathered, scarred, one eye covered by a worn patch, but it was what he carried that made Zerthala's heart stop. Cradled in his arms was a figure wrapped in thermal blankets, small, fragile, and unmistakably familiar. "Are you Zer?" the human asked, his voice rough but steady. The dragon woman couldn't speak. Her eyes were fixed on the bundle in his arms, where a tuft of auburn hair, her daughter's hair, peeked out from the blankets. "My name is Marvik," the human continued. "I served with your daughter. I've been looking for you for a long time." Zerthala's legs nearly gave out. "Coraline," Marvik nodded, carefully kneeling to lower his burden to the ground. As the blankets fell away, Zerthala saw her daughter for the first time in over a year. Coraline was alive, but barely. Her hybrid features, the delicate scales along her jawline, the hint of wings at her shoulders were dull, lifeless. Her breathing was shallow, her body racked with tremors. Burn scars covered much of her exposed skin, and her left leg ended at the knee. "What happened?" Zerthala whispered, dropping to her knees beside her child. Marvik sat heavily on a nearby rock, exhaustion evident in every line of his body. "The bombardment at Outpost 7, we were overrun. Coraline held the line long enough for 37 of us to evacuate, but she took a direct hit from a plasma mortar. I went back for her," the report said. "The report was wrong," Marvik interrupted gently. "Command wrote off everyone who didn't make the first evac. I found her 3 days later, buried under rubble. She was clinically dead when I pulled her out." Zerthala's breath caught. "Then how?" "Humans are stubborn," Marvik said with a ghost of a smile. "We don't accept death easily. I performed CPR for 20 minutes before her heart started again. Then I carried her out of that hellhole on my back." The dragon woman looked at him properly for the first time. His limp, the scars, the way he favored his left side. "You were injured." "Shrapnel to the spine," Marvik confirmed. "Took it during the eve. Docs said I'd never walk again, but I had a promise to keep." He met Zerthala's gaze steadily. "Coraline saved my life twice during our deployment. Once from enemy fire, once from my own demons. I told her if anything ever happened, I'd make sure she got home. I don't break promises." Zerthala felt something crack inside her chest, not with pain, but with a fierce, overwhelming gratitude. "You carried her for 3 cycles. We spent 8 months in a field hospital. The coalition medical system is overwhelmed. Hybrid cases like Coraline's fell through the cracks. No dragon healers available, human medicine too slow. So I learned." Marvik's jaw tightened. "I studied dragon physiology, learned your healing techniques, begged every expert I could find. When the hospital gave up, I didn't. I've been treating her myself, moving from planet to planet, following every lead to find you." Coraline stirred weakly, a soft whimper escaping her lips. Zerthala immediately placed a clawed hand on her daughter's forehead, feeling the fever burning beneath her skin. The hybrid's body was fighting a war it couldn't win, a long-dragon metabolism conflicting with human cellular structure. A biological civil war tearing her apart from the inside. "She needs dragon fire," Zerthala said urgently. "Direct transfusion from a parent. It's the only way to stabilize hybrid physiology after severe trauma." "I know," Marvik said quietly. "That's why I've been searching for you. Will you? Can you save her?" Zerthala's eyes blazed. "She is my daughter. I will move stars if necessary." The ritual took hours. Zerthala channeled her own life force through her fire breath, letting the ancient magic of her kind flow directly into Coraline's failing body. The human veteran watched silently, never leaving his post, never looking away. As dawn broke over the plateau, Coraline's eyes finally opened. "Mum." Her voice was barely a whisper. Zerthala gathered her daughter close, tears streaming down her scaled face. "You're home, little flame. You're home." Coraline's gaze drifted to Marvik, who stood a respectful distance away, preparing to leave now that his mission was complete. "Marvik, you kept your promise." The veteran smiled, a real smile this time. Always do, kid. Wait, Zerthala called out as he turned to leave. Marvik paused. The dragon woman rose to her full height, wings spreading wide in a gesture of profound respect. You brought my daughter back from death itself. You carried her through impossible odds when the universe had abandoned her. You gave up your own recovery to ensure hers. Marvik of the 3rd Terran Infantry, you have earned the eternal gratitude of clans Athel. Marvik shook his head. I didn't do anything special. I just did what any soldier would do for their battle buddy. No, Zerthala said firmly. You did what humans do. You refused to accept the impossible. You turned stubbornness into salvation. She bowed deeply, a gesture no dragon gave lightly. The galaxy says humans are weak because you lack claws, scales, or natural weapons. But they don't understand your true strength. You simply do not quit. Marvik met her eyes, understanding passing between them. She's going to need time to recover fully. I have notes. Treatment plans. Stay, Coraline whispered from her mother's arms. Please, at least for a while. The veteran looked at the hybrid soldier he'd carried across half the galaxy, then at her mother, and finally nodded. For a while, as the three of them stood together on the Crimson Plateau, the twin suns rising behind them, Zerthala understood something profound. Humans weren't just allies in war, they were family in spirit. They would cross impossible distances, endure unbearable pain, and defy death itself for those they cared about. Her daughter had fallen in battle, but a human veteran had brought her back, and in doing so, Marvik had proven what the galaxy was only beginning to learn. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or tactics, it was their refusal to leave anyone behind.